night event is worth 30 points, a total of 100 points, 3 events, and a final question on the night of the show, which is Saturday. So the girls are confident and can be a little reassured. If they want to be nervous, they can be nervous about something else. So we alternate our judges. We use different judges tonight and different judges on the night of the show. So without further ado.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My topic is to save children from adoption and exploitation around the world. A great number of children in the world have been missing and exploited. I realized that I wanted to become an FBI agent because of the case that I read of. For example, Chelsea little girl who was adopted in 1993 at the age of 11 by Philip Garden. This young girl was forced to live in the Barbados as a camper for 18 years. She is now 29 years old and she is the mother of 2 children who were followed by the men who kidnapped her. Also, I have been influenced by the case of Elizabeth Ferd, who has kidnapped by her own father at the age of 18 in Australia and forced to have 7 children with him. She was kept in the cell as a sex slave for 26 years. She is now 43 years old. These 2 cases tremendously affect me because it proves that when a child is missing for so many years, you can still have hope and keep looking for them. It doesn't matter how many weeks, months, years have passed. It is still possible to still find them alive. I will help find missing children.
Ladies and gentlemen, special guests, fellow contestants. I am Keisha Cardi and I'm representing the beautiful island of the Dominican Republic. But lately, our occurrences haven't been as beautiful as they seem. The Dominican Republic, along with many Caribbean and Latin American countries, have been affected by a virus known as dengue, also known as the West Nile virus. Dengue, or the West Nile virus, is a viral infection transmitted by mosquitoes that have been infected by biting a bird. When children or adults are bitten by this mosquito, they occur certain types of symptoms such as high fevers, coma, or even death. 22 people have died as a result of this epidemic in the Dominican Republic. 12 have died in a pueblo named Santiago. The last related report of children dying have been the age of 12 and 8. I myself have a lot of family members who have been affected by this. I have 5 family members. I have a 3-month-old cousin who's been affected by this as well. This is a serious matter that affects us all. The United States itself, we had an outbreak of the West Nile virus in 2008. My main goal will be to try to help these countries have awareness of these types of viral infections that are transmitted by insects.
Good evening, honorable judges, ladies and gentlemen, special guests, and delegates, of course. It is an honor and a great privilege to stand before you to discuss a sensitive topic that people often forget occurs, but yet is still present in modern American societies and countries abroad. As I stand before you, I don't only want you to recognize me as a delegate of a pageant, nor a beauty queen want to be, but instead, I want you to observe me as a student, a role model, and most of all, a catalyst, and dedicate my pageant mission for empowering the minds of young women, expanding the definition of beauty, and helping young women gain positive self-reflection. For 8+ years, I had to endure the humiliation and the teasing of my peers. Why? Because I was simply different. Even though African Americans and Caribbean West Indians come in all diverse shades of colors, I still couldn't find as to where I fitted in. And that made me question myself. Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I reflected the way way that I am reflected. Unlike other girls my age, they would be curious about boy bands, fashion, hair. I was on a mission. I was determined to find an answer on who I was and the missing piece to my puzzle. On that fateful day of April 15, 2004, if you told me I was going to get the biggest shock of my life, I'd probably simply laugh and say, oh, that's all fiction. But no, not fiction. It's reality. It was my reality. I was the second person ever in medical history books to be diagnosed with Giracelli hypopigmentation abnormalities to the hair and skin. And for those of you who are not familiar with Giracelli, Giracelli is a double mutation that occurs inside of a woman's womb while the baby is forming. And that's why I have a wonderful and beautiful reflection of spots and gold hair. But even though at such a young age I was put to a test like none other, I knew that I couldn't sit and I knew I couldn't cry, but instead I have to preach and spread the word. And from that day on, ladies and gentlemen, I made it my business to help young women who are dealing with themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, my honorable judges, my lovely ladies, I need to ask you a favor tonight. I want to ask you to take a moment and think about the 5-letter word, abuse. Abuse is a word that we don't take too seriously very often. But many unsuspecting people, maybe even some among us tonight, are victims of domestic violence. Evidence has shown that not everyone understands the signs of abuse, or even how to deal with it. Therefore, I ask you, who are the probable victims of domestic violence? My answer, no one. No one, because each and every one of us can become victims of domestic violence. Signs of abuse are not evident early in relationships. However, a person should always keep a keen eye on how they're being treated by their partner. Therefore, most victims, there are times when victims are not aware that they themselves are being victimized, are being abused. Many people, because of that, they tend to lean more towards the myths. One of the many myths are most victims are from poor families and are usually women of color. Therefore, most victims exclude themselves from the term domestic violence. A person can be a millionaire, have all the riches in the world, yet they succumb to this. I want you to think about another word, intimidation. Intimidation is a very powerful word. It's a word that's full of power and superiority. It's the word that degrades the people that's being intimidated. The power of intimidation takes a vicious toll on the mind. It can even take control. It's a dangerous game to play with intimidation, and it can even result in death. How can we slow down, if not stop, the high rates of violence that's going on in this world today? Maybe you know someone, or you suspect someone is a victim of domestic violence. What are you supposed to do? What is your next step? It's fair to just listen. Some people, they just want to know that you're there to listen. Many people would not come out right and say, I am a victim of domestic violence. It's not fair to them to come out like that way. If you yourself are a victim, it is important that you understand that this is not okay. Nobody deserves to be a victim of domestic abuse. Nobody deserves to be hurt. Again, I emphasize the seriousness of the situation. We don't pay much attention to domestic violence, but we should. We should really start rallying. We should start making everything possible steps towards ending domestic violence. Again, my name is Natalie Willie, and I'm representing Miss St. Lucia.